The COVID-19 wave limited humanity for over a year. Schools were shut, markets closed, virtuality bloomed, and events were paused and cancelled, like the Chinese Grand Prix. However, since the lockdown period, we still have not seen a return to this racing arena. The F1 proposed the 2023 season as a comeback for the Shanghai racetrack from its exclusion from the race calendar year, but these plans have been cancelled because of… Welcome to our channel. Since the removal of China from the coming Grand Prix calendar, a lot of speculation has been going around at the next step of the FIA. Today, we will be looking at the possible replacements that the authorities will be looking forward to. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to be part of the family. So, this was what happened. The 2019 wave saw the suspension of most sporting activities, including races. 3 years later, the balance had been restored everywhere but China. Since 2019, the coming 2023 F1 season was the anticipated return of the Chinese Grand Prix. It was to be the fourth round of the 24-round calendar. However, the Chinese government has continued to impose a zero COVID-19 policy, with restrictions on travel and residence. As a result of this, the F1 has seen the possibility of a successful race round in the Shanghai racetrack as very low and hence has decided to cancel it, bringing the race schedule to 23 rounds. In a statement released to the public by the FIA, they stated that Formula One can confirm, following dialogue with the promoter and relevant authorities, that the 2023 Chinese Grand Prix will not take place due to the ongoing difficulties presented by the COVID-19 situation. The cancellation of the Chinese GP has left a 4-week gap between the Australian Grand Prix on April 2nd and the Azerbaijani Grand Prix on April 30th. The gap will be a major break in the calendar and might reduce the momentum after the first 3 rounds. To bridge the gap, the FIA hoped to bring the Azerbaijan Grand Prix forward, but the Baku race organizers were not proponents of the decision, as they believed it would seriously disturb their plans and arrangements. The only feasible option that the FIA has now is to seek a replacement track for the Chinese GP to restore order. The introduction of the replacement idea has awakened numerous tracks that feel they are meant to be on the calendar. Bids from a lot of cities have come in, but the favorite for now is a Portuguese Grand Prix. Portimão in Portugal hosted races in both 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic period. It has become a popular racetrack for both racers and constructors. The Portuguese GP is the memory bag of Lewis Hamilton's famous win, twice. Istanbul also hosted stand-in races during the COVID-19 pandemic, and Paul Ricard in France also held races last year, but presently doesn't have any place in the race calendar. From the fans, India has been believed as a reasonable replacement option, but as it stands, Portimão is most likely to be the replacement option for the FIA because they look the most financially capable to hold the 4th round. Plus, Portuguese F1 commentator João Carlos Costa stated on Twitter that negotiations with Portimão were in the climax stages, and the public should expect an announcement sooner rather than later. Portugal once again on the F1 route, he wrote. Imminent decision, Portimão should replace China in the 2023 calendar. Small details are missing to be resolved before the FIA World Council, scheduled for December 9th in Bologna. Portuguese fans, what a Christmas gift. If hopefully the Chinese Grand Prix is replaced with a Portuguese Grand Prix, it will mark the 50th anniversary of the 100,000 capacity circuit Autódromo Internacional do Algarve. The F1 authorities have still not made any statements on the potential replacements, but they have let the public know that they are aware changes have to be made. Formula One is assessing alternative options to replace the slot on the 2023 calendar and will provide an update on this in due course. Well, one can still wonder, what if a new stop is not added to replace the Chinese GP? What will the FIA then put in place? A double dip prior to or after April 16th. In 2020, double dips were held in some countries because of the high tolls of the pandemic in some other race countries. F1 was one of the first sporting organizations to feel the heat of COVID-19. The Australian Grand Prix was cancelled days before the commencement of the season after a McLaren team driver tested positive. The season didn't start until July, and the race organizers had to work round the clock and tracks to make it possible. They decided to have double sprints in some countries. For example, the season began with the Austrian Grand Prix at Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. The following week, F1 unveiled the Styrian Grand Prix, run again at the Red Bull Ring. The same can be done in the 2023 season. Either Melbourne or Baku can double tip for Shanghai to avoid waste of expenses. An early spring break. With 24 rounds, this season looks to be the longest in the history of F1. So the F1 can opt for an early spring break and still have the traditional summer break in the latter half of June. The fans and racers will surely miss the Chinese Grand Prix with its amazing memories and exquisite tracks. The fairy tale of the Chinese Grand Prix. Held in Shanghai International Circuit, Jiaqing, the races in China are one of the most anticipated because of the hospitality and amazing culture of the Chinese people. The track was the most expensive at its introduction in 2004 before it was overthrown by Abu Dhabi in 2009. It's 5.451 kilometers long and has one of the trickiest combinations in the F1. It is a freestyle ground for F1 legend Lewis Hamilton, who has 6 first-place finishes, making him the most successful driver in the China races. Some of the amazing moments at the Chinese GP include Michael Schumacher's final win in 2006, Lewis Hamilton's and McLaren's title-losing era, Red Bull's first-ever pole win in 2009, the first win for Nico Rosberg and the new Mercedes, and Max Verstappen's quality performance in 2015. So now we've come to the end of another video. Please drop a comment in the section below and let's know your opinion on the replacement Grand Prix, and if you're like Zach Brown, who feels the replacement is useless, chip in what you feel should be done as the best move. Please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this. See you next time.